Welcome back to Gossip Break, the cherry on top of your day. I'm one of your co-hosts, Bree,
And I'm Becky.
and today we are coming to you with some hot pop culture topics and a nice fun House of the Dragons little recap, our thoughts on it at the end. How have you been, Becky?
I've missed you. I've been good. If you guys hear an AC, like a portable AC, it's because I didn't have AC at all last week and I had to call the city to get my apartment to come and install a portable AC because like they just were gonna let me suffocate in here. And I
Your
said no, no,
maintenance was
no,
just gonna
no.
like let you suffocate, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Maintenance never does their job
They never do.
in
And
a
I was
timely manner.
no, and I had to always like call them and let them know. And I was like, obviously, like, no, 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 no. I watch Law and Order. I know I have rights.
What are
And
my tenant
so,
rights?
yeah, I have tenant rights, especially during the summer when it's this
Those
hot
two
outside.
words, that probably scares them. They probably got the
Yeah,
maintenance out super fast.
they did. They did. I was like, I'm calling the city. And like, literally, they beat the city here and the city
Of
still came.
course.
And I was like, yeah, like I had to, that's like 4 days later. Like I had to do all that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's sick.
but
AC should be like one of those 24-hour emergency things, especially
It
in
it
Texas.
was. It was. That's the problem because
Okay,
there's
see, now you need money back. We need a reimbursement.
yeah, I need some prorated rent or something around here. It was crazy, but I'm doing good. I have portable AC. I'm thankful. I got the fans going. I'm excited for this gossip break. So,
Same. I needed this gossip break. I had a good weekend. I went to Lake Michigan for a bachelorette party, but my flight back was disgusting. I got delayed for like 6 hours, missed my connection flight, had to spend the night in another city, got back, like got in at like 3 a.m. It was a whole mess. So I was like delirious. So now that I finally slept, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to gossip.
yes, absolutely.
Immediately. Sleep gossip break.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have some pop culture topics today. A lot of them have to do with music, which is interesting.
This is a music podcast in case anyone, no, I'm joking. It's pop culture, but it's giving music today. Like our topics, I
Yeah, we have a
was
nice music theme.
so happy with them. Let's
Maybe the
see.
most recent news with JT that came
Yeah,
out this morning
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
on the same wavelength with our gossip.
Justin Timberlake was arrested in the Hamptons for an alleged DUI, which honestly, I'm not surprised at all.
Why are you not surprised? See, I didn't. Okay, wait, I'm like reading the police report and what it says about him. This is crazy.
Oh, really? I didn't even I was bad and I only read the headline. Sorry, y'all.
Me, always.
Oh, he's scheduled for court July 26th next month.
Oh, so he was placed under arrest and held overnight, where he was released on his own recognizance. What does that mean? Like, does that mean that they like knew who he was, or is that he was like good, so they let him out?
I'm Googling. I'm Googling. Law and Order didn't teach me that one. Okay, a recognizance is a form of bail in which the accused is released pre-trial, with the incentive to ensure that will appear in court. Okay, that makes sense. So,
Oh, so it says he refused to submit to a breathalyzer test, but he performed poorly on all the other standardized field sobriety tests. And he had a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, including bloodshot and glassy eyes, slowed speech, and an unsteadiness afoot. Okay, so he was fucked up.
he was fucked.
That makes me sick. I just feel like celebrities get so in their own head and they think that they can literally get away with everything. And,
Yeah.
clearly he got out of it. So he did get away with it. But what happens if one time you guys end up killing someone? You're not getting away
Caitlyn
with that.
Jenner.
Oh my God. Yeah. Caitlyn Jenner. Yikes.
It's so
I
many.
can't believe that happens.
I know. I
People bring that up and I'm like, oh my
We
God.
just
Like,
brush over that so quickly.
that's
Kristen is
actually really, 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 really scary. Really fucked up.
yeah, because if I was the victim's family,
Yeah.
I would shout from the rooftops like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like y'all need like this." It's so crazy because also like you can literally get a driver, JT. Why are you the one
Exactly.
driving? Like you have a driver, like it's give like they basically have their own secret service where like the driver will pull up, like they can't ask questions, they just make sure they drop you off. Like what the fuck is the point of getting behind the wheel drunk at all? One, but like to the point where like you're like that inebriated, like that is
Yeah.
so crazy to
Yeah,
me.
it's like these celebrities, they have money, they have access. It's just honestly at this point, it's just laziness if you're not calling somebody to come pick you up or just I don't even know if it's a laziness or if it's just like
It's
this.
arrogance.
Yes, that's the perfect word. Arrogance. I was going to say like self-righteousness. It's like the arrogance to think that it's like I could just do whatever.
That's right. Hold on, I gotta
Well, I
grab
don't
my
know. He's getting his
partner.
karma after Miss Britney Spears. So thank God he didn't hurt anybody. But
And apparently he's been doing Jessica Biel really dirty for the past sort of kind of years, and it seems like she's getting sick of his shit, and this is probably just icing on the cake.
yeah, I could see not to wish like, the death of a relationship, but I could see them separating sometime soon because
Oh,
I
definitely.
I just feel like, yeah, after all the Britney stuff came out with him like forcing her to have an abortion. I just don't think that that's going to go well for any woman. I'm sure she's looking at him a little bit differently. And then this on top of it, just being so irresponsible, that is such an ick, like just so irresponsible. You could have literally killed someone. Are you kidding? I would be disgusted if I was her. So yeah, I would not, I could see that happening.
That is sick. And he's also on tour right now.
That, oh my God, you're right. I kind of forgot about that because
Yeah, everyone's on tour
I
right
guess it's just the
now.
older millennials that are going to see that because I was going to say, who is going to see him?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's actually crazy. Celebrities, like, I know this is a celebrity podcast, but they really make me sick sometimes. Like,
We love to
speaking of,
gossip about him though.
yeah, like, speaking of celebrities with arrogance, I was watching Law and Order. This is like my third time, fourth time mentioning it,
Your
but
comfort
it's
show of
because,
the air,
yeah,
like
it's my
your
comfort show.
of the season.
And yeah, I watch SVU. I care a lot about, victims. And they had an episode with Mike Tyson where Mike Tyson was the victim. And I was
Oh,
like, isn't he like I don't like cancel culture, but like, isn't he a terrible person? Like, I kind of forgot.
that's like not really in my wheelhouse of pop culture. Like I feel like, yeah, you could tell me that and I would believe it.
Yeah.
So don't
So
know for sure.
obviously I did my research because I
Okay.
do
Come through
remember
with the
that he like,
journalism.
yeah, no, I did my research. And because I remember growing up, like knowing of him as like a physical abuser, like not to get so dark, but like since we're on the topic of celebrities having bad behavior and getting away with it, he had this like 2020 interview with his then wife.
Mm.
And she was just talking about basically how he like beats the shit out of her, and he was just like smiling. Like this is all like the 90s crazy, guys. Like I don't think people understand. People say like, oh, the 90s are so great. Like, no, like it was scary because there was like no, like people didn't care about those kind of
Yeah.
things. Not that they really do now, to be
There was not
honest,
as
but
much
like,
repercussions.
yeah, like, and he wrote a book after they got a divorce, obviously. And he was like, yeah, Robin, his ex-wife, took the best punch I ever threw. He wrote that in a book. And
I feel like
it's,
now that you said that, I have heard of that before, but
yes,
it took until you saying that to remind
yes,
me. And it's kind of crazy how we're able to, there's just so much media out there and so much going on, like
it's
content
gross.
overload that it's so hard to remember these things. And it's also with like the way the PR cycle works, like they just like flush out all these news stories and you kind of forget about it. And
Yeah, he's
it's
also a
scary.
convicted rapist. Convicted. Like he went to jail. Like he
And
served
we're
prison
still giving
time.
him the time of day.
Millions
Okay,
of
so I'm going to be on
dollars.
his ass now. Anytime I see him, I'm going to be making some words.
Yeah, because I was like, this is like, no, like, because people try to say, because he's like kind of funny, I guess, and he has like the list and the tattoo, and like, I think like the hangover was like kind
Yeah,
of his
I was going to say The
resurgence or
Hangover.
something. Yeah, like that really helped with his personal brand because I don't think our generation, not that honestly, they would probably care anyway, realize like him, like it's a one thing to be like an accused rapist.
Convicted though?
Convicted, like they found you guilty, you went to jail and served time, and then you get to go on Law and Order Special Victims Unit and be
And
a
you be the
victim.
victim? Oh my God, that makes my stomach turn.
I
Why did
was
they even
sick.
allow that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, is any like I watch this show because it like brings attention to like victims and like
Yeah, to make a
stories of,
mockery of it.
yeah, just to give him a role in it.
Have
Also,
a
his acting
physical
was
and sexual abuser as the victim. Like, are we serious?
oh, JT, Mike Tyson. We should start a shit list.
Yeah.
Number one, Mike Tyson, honestly. Number two, Justin Timberlake. I'll
That
keep
is like
notes.
the difference between them two. It's like DUI, convicted rapist, physical abuser, but they're both on that fucking list.
There, no, you're both on that list because I don't like how you did my girl, Brittany, and I don't like that you, Mike Tyson. I don't like that you wrote in a book that like the best punch you ever threw was on your wife.
Yeah, just saying it's like it's no big deal. Like that just goes to show just how much these celebrities can get away with. Like another person who had a DUI at the time, Justin Bieber. Well, back then, and it's like, oh, we do a little roast on him, and he's on Ellen again, and we just start to slowly forget about it.
Oh my gosh. No, it's sick. No, I'm literally starting a list. I'm writing it down. Justin Timberlake and Mike Tyson. We're coming for you. We're coming for you. We
Well,
are educating the people. Because isn't Mike Tyson supposed to fight like Jake Paul or one of the Paul brothers or something?
oh my God, I think you're right. I feel like when it comes to the boxers, this is
I
so
get
bad, but they
scared.
all blend together in my head. And I'm just
No.
like, I don't know. Like the Jake Pauls of the world, what's his brother? Logan Paul, they're the same
Logan.
to me. Mike Tyson
Yes.
is the same. Like all of them are the same to me.
George Foreman,
Oh my God, it
Mike
is Jake
Tyson.
Paul versus Mike Tyson. Okay, honestly, it's not like I really like Jake Paul, but I don't hear anything about him being a convicted rapist or a physical abuser. So I hope he beats his ass. I mean, I
I like
honestly,
doubt it.
I don't know if I trust him to do that because like he
I'm
just looks like
scared
such a
for
clown.
him.
But
I'm literally scared for Jake Paul, Logan Paul. I don't know I didn't even know there was two.
okay, Jake, now that I'm looking at their faces, Jake Paul is the one who fake married Tana. Logan Paul is the one who did the Japanese forest suicide shit.
That's
So they're
not funny
both
at all. That's not funny. I'm so sorry. I
we
don't know
laugh
why
when it's
that
uncomfortable. I'm sorry, guys.
I don't know why that cackle just came out of the bottom of my stomach. But that like
They're
people
just both menaces. Imagine their mom.
like how did this happen? Now you're fighting now your brother is
How
fighting
did
Mike
we get
Tyson.
here?
And he's in WWE. Like, why?
Oh my
Maybe
God.
he's turning it around and you this
I'm pretty sure that
bad
fight
energy,
is
like
soon
for good.
too. Oh, wait, no, it's not.
I'm
Never mind. It got postponed.
of course.
It was for July 20th, but then Tyson suffered an ulcer flare up during a flight from Miami to Los Angeles, and now it's going to be on November 15th. Okay, so
It's not happening.
it's either not happening or Mike Tyson's scared.
I don't know why.
Little bitch boy.
Yeah, but like also I'd be
I hope
so
he gets his ass decked. I hope Jake Paul gives him the best punch he's ever taken.
yeah, I hope he better. It's fucking
Like,
Tyson.
beat his ass.
Mike Tyson bit off somebody's ear. Like we also forget about that. He bit off somebody's ear during a fight. Anyways,
Okay, we've gone so far deep in the Mike Tyson hole. I'm scared.
no, he might like listen to this and like literally try to like
Not you
attack
saying
us
it with the lisp.
because that's how he talks. He has all that, and you have a list, but you can't even say list, and you're out here beating on women. Are you crazy?
I'm sick. Everything that we just said was alleged. Please don't come for us, Mike Tyson.
Okay, but he does have a conviction. He does have a
besides
list,
that part.
and he did write in his book. No, that actually,
Okay, never mind. It's not alleged. We're standing 10 toes down. Fuck you.
No, he told us. He told us. And is oh my gosh. Anyways, sorry, y'all. It like obviously really bothered me. Like I slept on it and still
Yeah,
woke up this
you had to
morning.
gossip about that one.
I had to get it off
Get
my
it out
chest.
of your soul.
Yeah, it really, really disgusted me. And we were talking about celebrities getting away with not bad behavior, but like deathly, like
Well, we were talking about
homicidal
Caitlyn Jenner before
behavior.
then. So yeah, it was just a
Oh gosh.
concoction of disgusting celebrities. Speaking of other celebrities that are kind of on the shit list is Scooter Braun,
Yeah.
and he has officially retired from management.
Let's tell the people who Scooter Braun is, just in case we don't let anything slide around here at Gossip Break. Like, do not think that you can be a background celebrity, like a manager or something like that, and think you can get away.
Exactly. So Scooter Braun is a music manager, and he manages like some of the biggest pop stars to this day: Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, Demi Lovato, these are like pretty big names. Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande, I would say, are probably like his most well-known people.
Mm-hmm.
And he has unofficially stepped back from managing these top artists like 2 years ago, but he finally made it official on Monday. And it says that he's stepping back from being a manager to focus on just being the CEO of Hybe America. Yeah. So I guess he says he just wants to like focus on being a dad and like a CEO and not having to basically cater to these high-end celebrities all the time. But I don't know. I'm not a fan of him after
No.
the whole Taylor Swift album thing. I just felt like that was such a slap in the face. Like, even if you're not a Taylor fan, I just feel like that was such a slap in the face to
He
an
created a
artist. And like,
monster.
yeah, 100%. No, this is the problem.
Yeah, we want to know what the fuck is wrong with T Swift. It's Scooter Braun.
100%.
Because what did he do? I never really understood it. I just know that she like got his rights back from him and re-released them.
Okay, so this is from Cosmopolitan. God bless for breaking it down. It says, so what the actual fuck is going on? In a nutshell, celebrity talent manager Scooter Braun just acquired Taylor Swift's music. I guess that's all it is.
But
Okay, so
okay, like so. Is that bad? I'm not an artist like that. I'm a creative, but we're creative.
okay, this is what it says. It says Taylor made her first 6 albums with a company called Big Machine Record, and because of how her contract was originally drafted, they owned the master recordings for all the music she made under them. She left them in 2018 and signed a new deal with Universal Music Group, where she was allowed to own the rights to her master recordings. So basically, when she left Big Machine Records, those were like the first 6 albums she recorded were under them. So when she left,
Mhm.
she kind of knew that she was going to have to make a hard choice to sign to a new label because she was leaving behind the opportunity of having any of that music. But apparently in 2018, the new group that she signed to, Universal Music Group, was trying to buy Big Machine Records at that time. So she thought,
Mhm.
like, even though I'm leaving, I'll still be able to eventually have them because like my new people are going to buy this. But instead, Scooter Braun swooped in and acquired Big Machine Records in like a huge $300 million deal, which took ownership of all that stuff. So, I mean,
Honestly,
basically, he was doing his job.
no, because I was like, it kind of sounds like Taylor. Like what
So
he
I
did
feel like
sounds like what she would something she would do.
okay. So feel like it's an unfortunate situation because obviously she wanted the music, but I think at the same time, like she did have to kind of expect that if she was going to be leaving, that somebody else could buy it. It just happened to be unlucky that he bought it before her new people did. But like, there has to be something more to this. Like, why is there such personal
I know.
beef between them? I feel
I
like there's something deeper. Like maybe the Swifties will eventually tell us one day. Actually don't because I don't care.
like
I don't
actually
know.
I like kind of don't hate him as much anymore. Like I might have to take a letter off his name on the shit list because I think it might like I think the reason why he gets so much like vitriol is because like kind of all of his artists hate him. Like I know Demi Lovato like had some stuff with him when she
Okay, so
like
I'm looking at this thing that like Taylor said. So I feel like people
okay.
didn't like it because of the way that she I'm not trying to be mean, guys, but she is addressing it in a way that's like emotional, not logical. So this is what it says, that basically like when she left the masters in Scott's hands, which was like the old CEO of Big Machine Records, whatever. It said, I made peace with the fact that eventually he would sell them. Never in my worst nightmares did I imagine the buyer would be Scooter Braun, though. Anytime Scott Borchetta has heard the word Scooter Braun escape my lips, it was when I was either crying or trying not to. He knew what he was doing. They both did.
Whatever. I actually like I know I 10 minutes ago I was just going off about like but like this one kind of just like it just sounds like something Taylor would do herself. Like she just did that to Billie Eilish. She just did it to Charlie XCX.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit confused about that one. I feel like I said there has to have been some kind of personal drama
Yeah.
between the two of them because this doesn't like from an outside perspective of not being fans of either of them. This just seems like, okay, so he bought a deal. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Well,
moving on before the Swifties come and burn down our podcast.
enjoy
Let's talk
retirement.
about a little update from our last week's story with Real Housewives of Atlanta and Kenya Moore. So we were kind of unsure if she did it or not because she was saying she didn't. Obviously, the other newbie, Brittany, was saying she did. However, now some news came out this weekend that Kenya Moore is suspended indefinitely from Real Housewives of Atlanta after the oral sex poster scandal.
I just got chills because I'm
Oh my
like,
goodness.
Kenya Summer Moore suspended indefinitely. Like, honestly, they're probably gonna let her come back. But it's just like what I know they are like kind of well, let me just backtrack and say I think Bravo is like on a mission right now to prove that they protect the theme of this podcast is protect women because have gotten and Andy Cohen have gotten a lot of allegations the
There's
past
like a
couple
lot of
of years.
ongoing lawsuits right now.
Yeah, that Bravo and Andy, they just don't protect the housewives, whether it's financially, whether it's like from other castmates. Like, I
Mhm.
know there's some stuff with Brandy going on. I don't even like read that because I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just a little too messy for me.
There's a lot of like
Nene,
she said.
yeah, no, literally. Nene Leaks, Bethany Frankel,
Yeah.
um,
Raquel Levis and this like
yeah,
whole situation. So a lot of people are also upset with this because I'm not condoning what Kenya did at this point. It's clear that something fucked up happened. Like if they wouldn't suspend her for no reason. So I definitely don't condone that. I guess where I'm having a problem with it though is that it just does seem inconsistent on Bravo's end who they decide to punish. I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve to get punished, but it's just like a little bit confusing when we have Vanderpump Rules, Tom Sandoval, and like this whole, like him having or recording Raquel illegally because she didn't know, without her consent. Well, they were having FaceTime sex. And, she is like suing him for that.
as she
And
should.
it's just crazy because it's like they have like this whole Tom Sandoval redemption arc this season. And then he's like cast on Traitors. It's like, what are we doing? So he gets a whole redemption arc for the season after revenge porn, but Kenya gets suspended. It's just like, I just feel like where is the consistency in this like new era of Bravo where I feel like Bethany like unleashed this whole new kind of like lawsuit
Yeah.
era upon them. And I'm just like, so yeah, where do we draw the line now?
Yeah. Because obviously, if Kenya did do, because it still hasn't been like proven that she did it. So I will say, if she did what is alleged and she actually did it, yeah, you're right. There are so many other instances where like that kind of behavior, if it's like we don't tolerate like let's say like I'm using quotations, but like sexual violence or like anything like sexual harassment, sexual assault, or like themes of that, I would even go as far to say, then like why are the men on Jersey literally sucking the ass of a blow up doll on primetime
The men of
television at
Jersey
8 p.m.?
also were like, remember when Joe Gorga was like showing all the husbands Danielle Staub's like sex tape?
That's disgusting.
Was literally
That's
like like look at this, and like all of them watched it. And so I just like literally, where is the line? So okay, so
yeah.
he showed a housewife literally in sexual explicit actions. But like this is okay. I don't know. I mean, I guess that was in the past. Obviously they can't go backwards and be like, oh, we're gonna like, hold it against you
Yeah.
now. So I mean, I guess I don't know. I can't be too picky. I'm just like, get Joe
Yeah.
Gorga.
Yeah, no, it was on adding to the shit list. But
Yeah,
seriously,
he's on the shit
like
list. And John Buda too.
yeah, let me go ahead and add them.
Louis
But
can get on there and he can like prove himself out of the shit
yeah,
list.
like this is
All the men of Jersey start on the shit list.
yes, yeah, like you need to work your way. It's like that joke where like men need to start in prison and then
And work
prove
their
if
way.
we
Yeah.
should allow them in the real world with the
Prove that
rest
they're
of us.
capable of being,
Yeah.
responsible human beings.
Yeah, because it is just because obviously Bravo's not gonna fucking do that shit because suspending Kenya indefinitely, especially during First of all, we're filming in the middle of a season, so that means she's not going to be in half the season.
Yeah, that's
We
crazy.
all we're gonna watch this season because Portia's back. Her and Kenya are getting along. This is a huge
Yes.
opportunity for Atlanta to at least bring themselves back up by their bootstraps a little bit. Maybe not be
Hmm.
number one, but at least get some, at least hit like 1 million viewers on a
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
But now it's like, now you're literally taking away like your main star other than Portia.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, she had to have done it because why?
Right.
Like, I feel like they're probably thinking that too. Like, they were banking a lot on having her and Portia getting back together and being friends again and being like the main stars. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm assuming that they aren't happy to do this. We'll see. But when
Yes.
I was reading the page 6 article, it says that an insider insisted to us that the explicit photos in question were readily accessible online. So I feel like that's, remember I was saying last week, like I feel like the way Kenya worded it is she was saying like private images. I feel like she's trying to get away with the fact that these were already out there and anybody could have saw them. So,
Yeah.
but I don't think that absolves you from like what you did.
No, like what you did was dead ass wrong.
Yeah.
But like also like you are correct. Someone was gonna bring that up either now or another season or whatever. Like
Yeah.
word to Jersey, like they all have arsenals
Yeah,
on each
100%.
other of
She just
tea,
handled it very
drama.
poorly.
Yeah, your own event is crazy. That's why I
Yeah,
have a
you're
hard
making
time
your whole
believing
event
it.
about her now.
Yeah. And now she's gonna come out with like a hair care line and everyone's gonna be like, I love that she's like turned this around like that, like
They're
duh.
going to
Like that's what
support
they
her
all do.
because they are against Kenya.
Correct.
So, yeah, I'm still curious to see how this season is going to play out. But I was
Wow.
shook when I saw you sent me the article this weekend. I was like, oh my God,
No,
they
I
really did that?
I couldn't believe it because I was like, and I think unfortunately she's getting made an example out of, and Kenya
Yes.
is very much also someone that, as much as I love her, I am a realistic person, and Kenya loves to make herself a victim. And you
Hmm.
just gave her even more, like now
Oh
she's
God.
gonna, yeah, now she's gonna become Bethany
Like literally
Frankel
take it to the moon.
and yeah, and start running around and like being Bravo's victim.
Yeah, and I'm sure, like, because I mean, I was seeing online people bringing up the comparisons of Tom Sandoval, of like the house,
Mhm.
the people in Jersey, all these other instances of things that have happened. So I'm sure she's seeing that too and keeping note of things. And so, yeah, we'll see what she says when she eventually speaks out. I'm sure she can't right now because of the season, but we'll start getting answers
Wow.
eventually.
The alleged incident was reportedly filmed by Bravo cameras, with Entertainment Tonight reporting that the network is still reviewing the content Kenya displayed during filming. Edie, the girl that's being,
Mhm.
seen in these pictures, has been accused of making threats towards Moore before the hair salon opening, allegedly using the word gun, according to page 6.
So, okay, interesting. I could definitely see Kenya saying, that this was her, I don't know. It's like you're not really defending yourself, but I could
Yeah,
see her
no,
being like
like,
feeling like triggered because of that and wanting to act out.
yep.
This is crazy.
This is so messy, nasty.
Messy, messy.
Oh, the season was already going to be messy, nasty with Portia literally divorcing a scammer like 6 months after having two weddings with him. So we were already going to
And
see like
wasn't
some,
he the husband of another housewife?
yeah, a friend. That's how they met. They met on the like you see the first time that they meet,
Oh
and
my God.
then Kenya or Portia leaves the show, and then she's engaged to said husband, gets married to him because he's like from like he's Ghanaian or something. So they have a traditional wedding and then they have an American wedding. Just for 6 months later to find out like he lied about like his documentation.
Oh my God. Was he trying
He
to get like a green card?
duh, duh, girl. Like I'm sorry. What? Like let's put our thinking caps on for like maybe half a second. But this is the same woman that said that there are 265 days a year.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, that's like yes. She said 265 days a year. I'll never forget it. And
I have to go back and watch the
You
season with
have,
her. I
yeah,
know. I'm
you
gonna
have to
do it
watch.
this summer, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know the lore.
No, like the lore is just so deep because she's also like, I guess, the granddaughter of like a civil rights activist.
Oh
And
my
this
God.
happened on the same trip. They went on a group trip to Savannah, Georgia, and they went to like a historically black church. Happy Juneteenth, everyone.
Oh
And
my God. Is it Juneteenth today?
tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah. Tomorrow, happy Juneteenth. If you don't know what it is, look
I
it
was like,
up.
not me being the worst black person. I don't even know.
No, it's tomorrow. It's
Becky told
tomorrow.
me last year
But
that I was only able to celebrate until
she
3 p.m. because I'm
go
mixed.
okay. That's hilarious. But she goes on this trip and they go to a church and they're like, "Oh, this is a historical site because underneath is the Underground Railroad." And Portia, who's again grandfather, was a civil rights activist, has pictures of the Martin Luther King. She goes, "Where are like the tracks for the railroad? Like, how did they get on the train?" And they were like, you thought the Underground Railroad was like an actual railroad, that you thought Harriet Tubman was a train conductor 265 days of the year?
She's really dumb.
No, she's like, actually, she's not bright.
You
Very
know what?
beautiful.
There's a pipeline between these really dumb girls and popping out with like somebody's man on the show, i.e., Raquel Leviss. Literally, like one of the dumbest people on Bravo. I'm sorry, but she is like that. When you were
Yeah.
telling me about Portia, that's what it reminded me of. Just like pretty dumb airhead.
No, like just a ding dong. I'm like, how did you
Steal this man. Like, what did you do?
no, what did you do? And it's like
You can
being a
form
ding
full
dong.
sentences.
Yeah, like the ding dong. No, the narcissist in him recognized the ding dong in you and was like, perfect victim. Like, I'm
A
gonna play
hundred
this
percent.
dummy like a damn fiddle. And that's what they both did because
They both did.
now he's like trying to like do like sending her cease and desist because she like has the car that he gave her on the show. And like,
Oh
so
my
he's
God.
like
He's
a drama.
embarrassing.
Yeah, he's another drama queen. But anyways, yeah, the season of Atlanta should be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see for sure.
Oh goodness. Well,
Well, we could finish off with a little House of the Dragons thoughts. The first episode came out Sunday.
oh, I was singing the theme song.
Real television is back.
It's back, baby. The
I'm so
dragons are
excited.
back. The lore, the the
Just like getting in the
violence.
world.
Yes, like I can I just say I watched Game of Thrones like a year ago, year and a half ago, because I just if everyone's watching it, like I don't know why. I'm just like I can't, like it's like too much.
I'm the
Like it's like
same.
too overwhelming to
Too
like
many people
watch
watching
it.
it. I can't at the same time.
Yeah, because like all the fans and stuff, but then I watched Game of Thrones and I was like, no, you guys were absolutely right. Like this is
I went through
genius
the same
television.
thing.
Like
Yes, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sick of people telling me to watch this damn show all the time. It makes me not want to watch it. And then
right.
finally, I got some free time over the summer, watched it, and I was like, okay, I understand why people were being so fucking annoying because this show is
Yes.
good.
It is like and I'm not someone that's into like fantasy or like medieval. Like I wasn't like, oh, I don't like dragons and stuff. But if you
Mhm.
have not watched Game of Thrones, I'm literally begging you to watch it. It is once you get through that first season, your jaw will be on the floor
Every
every
episode,
single episode. And like it's not even like cheap like shock value like I feel like a lot of
just
shows
good
do.
plot.
It is like the plot is so thick, like,
The
and it's
characters,
literally,
the acting,
oh
like
my gosh, I could
the
like
world
literally,
they build is
yes, I could write a dissertation, and I'm sure people have, on like Game of Thrones and like the character development, because the characters are just so human, but like they're
yes.
disgusting, but it's like it makes you realize like, oh, like we're all the same. Like it's in our nature
Mhm.
to be these like disgusting, greedy, um, just horrible
Like everyone is
characters.
gray. There's no like good or bad
Yes.
person. It's just really who do you side with more? And I feel like
Yeah.
that's like so evident in House of the Dragons too.
Yes.
So yeah, the first season or the first episode starts off with, I mean, I have to say, Emma Darcy, who plays Rhaenyra, oh my God, like they literally said one line the entire episode was just, I want Emmon Targaryen, yet chills, like the whole performance, like just gave an incredible, like nonverbal performance. Every time they cried, I cried. I, the acting on this franchise is insane.
It's ridiculous. And I looked Emma up, and they come from theater. And I'm like, you can always tell when, like, I think the best actors come from theater, because it's like
Mhm.
there's no, you can't like, oh, like let me do this again. No, this is live, honey.
Yeah.
Get
And I
your
feel
shit
like they
together.
work really well with their body too, because it's like you have to
Yes.
like be able to see all the way from the back in the theater. And I feel like Emma Darcy, it, like I said, does so well. This like the nonverbal acting of just like when like they were crying and I don't know, like the shoulders shaking and just like the grief on Rhaenyra's face killed me. Like I just felt so much of the
Yes.
emotions.
And the
And
chemistry of all of them. Like,
mhm,
these are real actors. Like,
yeah,
is it, this is a British show, right? Brits have
I
better
believe
TV than
so.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like all of them are some kind of like UK based.
Yeah.
And then yeah, who there was another part that like I remember. I'm trying to think of like the really affected me. Obviously, besides the end, that was insane. And my jaw was literally on the floor. My stomach still is in knots after watching it because I watched it like 2 hours before we recorded. So I'm still low key sick thinking about it. But like let's talk about the beginning part of it first. What did you
Yes.
think about Kristen Cole and Allison literally hooking up and
I was not surprised, because again, every character is like fucking disgusting on the show.
yeah,
So
just
it's like
so nasty.
just so like, and it like kind of makes me feel better about myself, because I'm like, oh, I'm like not this terrible. But then it's like, no, this is like the human condition. We are like, we could all be capable of like doing these horrible
They're probably bored out of
things.
their minds. This is what happens when there's no cell phones, there's no
No,
like
no
TV to
TV.
watch. Literally, all they could do is just start mess with each other and just hook up.
Yeah. And just hook up. Like, it's just so crazy. So I wasn't surprised at all, because obviously her man is long gone. Her man that
Oh
she
God,
married when she was like
Rip
12.
Viserys.
Yeah, Viserys. Also, I don't know like any of their names. That's so
It's
bad.
so
Like,
hard to keep track of all their names.
yeah.
And like when I'm explaining to people, I'm like, but okay, so it's like it's the blonde one, but they're like they're all blonde. I'm like, okay, wait, it's like
Yeah. It's the one that
the
looks
short
blonde hair,
blonde,
blue
blonde, blonde,
eyes.
one eye.
Yeah, one eye. Like, I know exactly who you're talking about. His brother, like, that's how we have to describe them, by attributes. Because I will also say, if you don't want to watch like House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones because it's too like wordy and it's hard to like get confused, read the Wikipedia pages like after. Like, I did that probably for like the first two seasons of Game of Thrones, and then I was like, okay, I know the characters, I know the plot. Like, now I can understand what the fuck is actually going on.
Yeah, they have
Because
like a
I
lot of
was,
family history and just a lot of names to keep
yes.
track of, but I feel like they all end up having some kind of plot or like tying in somehow. So I feel like they do a good job of that. So it's like every time like a new character comes up, I'm like, okay, I kind of actually like need to think about this because I feel like it wouldn't be or they would not be shown if they weren't going to be important. Like I feel like that
Yeah.
one guy who was talking to Corlys, like the Lord Valerion, the black guy with the dreads, and he was like, "You saved
Yes.
me." Like I feel like he's going to be important somehow because why did they make like a whole 5 minute thing with him?
Yes, exactly. I hold on to every single word
Yes.
that a character says. Like, that this is not a show you can watch in the background. You need subtitles on,
Mhm.
undivided
Subtitles.
attention, because
Yes.
you will miss like a whole, and it's like it'll come back like seasons later. Anyways, you're right. Yeah, I, I'm speechless.
They make me sick. And yeah, so they're just like hypocrites, you know? They're just, and it's like,
Hmm.
Allison, you literally want everything Rhaenyra has. Like, you're literally even going to be with the man that she was with. Okay. Um,
Disgusting.
Creepy, just creepy. And I really liked Rhaenys's performance in this when she was like talking to Damon and she was like, yeah, I would listen to you if you were the king.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
okay.
A, I love her. One of my favorite characters like ever on Game of Thrones, or like in this universe in
I really liked
Westeros,
her.
because she doesn't fucking play. She's like, yeah,
Nope.
you can say what the fuck you want, Because what did he tell her? Like, this wouldn't have happened if like if you became queen. That's is essentially what he was saying,
And
right?
he was basically, and yeah, it was like trying to like force her to go out again. Like, you're not going anywhere. Like, come, fly with me. And she was like, I'm not listening to you.
Yeah, like why would I listen to you? Because you're not the king. And yeah, why would I listen to you? You're
Exactly.
like the fuck.
So I thought it was interesting too how they started off in Winterfell and they were like kind of talking about the whole background with that and the wall. And I thought it was like one of the interesting parts of that whole beginning scene was when I think his name's Cregan. Yeah, Cregan Stark, when he was talking to Jacaerys, and he was saying how like the dragons back then wouldn't even fly over the wall. And he was like, so, we have to be here for a reason. I thought that was so cool to like kind of like set up the future of the foreshadowing of the Night Walkers. But then it did kind of get me mad about the whole Daenerys situation because like her dragons
Yeah.
flew over. Like they literally didn't give a fuck the last season. Everything that
Yeah.
happened in the book, they just said, all right, we're making our own ending.
They literally said like
Yeah, we're not listening to this book and everything that's
yeah.
been like leading up to this. But yeah, I thought that was cool. And it was cool to just see Winterfell again
Uh,
and
uh,
the Starks.
I like
R.I.P.
get
Rob Stark King.
chills when I watch like because even in the first season, I think like the first episode, it was like Rick and Stark, and I literally was like, oh my god, he's named after his great great grandfather. Like it's just
Just like
like
seeing
I
all the
just
little
love
pieces come together.
yes, like it's like
Yeah.
wow, like I you fall in love with these characters like
Mhm.
Winterfell, like I hate the cold, but I'm like I want to be
I
Queen
want to
of the
go there.
North.
Yeah.
Also, who do you think was narrating the beginning of this episode? Who was that?
It was the Cregan Stark guy, but it sounded like Jon Snow. Like it
It
just
was giving
sounded like so
yeah.
Stark. So
Yes.
I thought it was cool. I liked how it started off like that. I just love how Game of Thrones, it really, you feel so immersed in the world, like, and how there's like different attributes to like the North compared to King's Landing and like the people who live there and their values. I don't know.
And their
It's
names.
so cool. I love, and it's also so cool how he wrote so much to where there is this whole prequel and it ties all into this big book as well. Like it's just so crazy how people's minds work like that. Like how he's
Yeah.
able to come up with all of this.
Yeah. That
It's
is
so cool.
another level of like genius
Yeah.
I could never comprehend. And that's why I give so much kudos to, I think that's like why essentially, like, not to get all sentimental on us here at Gossip Break, but I think that's why we like love story. Like, it's just storytelling. And like
Yeah.
humans, one
Really
thing,
good
yeah,
storytelling.
one thing we can all agree on is we love a good fucking story. And especially like, bringing a story to life and like yeah
Yeah.
building this universe that has thousands upon thousands. I would probably even dare say like tens of thousands of pages and took
Hmm.
years to do
Yeah.
this and I mean, think about how long it took us to get season two. Like it took
I
just
know.
to
And
film it. Like,
I feel
ugh,
like HBO Max, I'm thankful that they are the ones who have like the rights to this show because they produce
absolutely.
it so well. I couldn't imagine this being a Netflix show. It would be so
No.
corny. It like the plot, like the budget would be zero. I mean, I do have to say this season or like the first episode of House of the Dragons, there was one part where I was like, this looks like so CGI. It was like when Rhaenyra was landing in with her dragon to kind
Yeah.
of see like Luke's body. I was like, I feel like that this doesn't look great.
It's giving Hulu.
It is, but other than that, everything else looked great and
No, the
but
budget is budgeting over at
100%.
HBO Max, which is why they're like upping our subscription every damn month. But like honestly, no one else is giving production like
Them.
HBO Max, and it's like every show that they
Yeah,
have,
every show they do,
really.
it's going to be good. Like Succession has great reviews, like everything they do.
Sex in the City, The
Yes.
Sopranos, Insecure, like just everything they do. So thank you, HBO Max, even though your platform like literally sucks.
You're a real one though for the just the worlds they create. They
Yes.
put money
Yes.
into it and I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this episode was titled A Son for a Son and
Oh,
last episode ended with Lucerys dying because Emmond killed him. Vagar, the dragon, literally ate him. Horrible, very, very sad. And now Rhaenyra is like bucking up. Well, I mean, she starts to buck up towards the end and she's like, all right, like I found my boy's body. It's confirmed now. It's on for you hoes. Let's fucking go. War is starting. I'm coming after you. I feel like honestly, it wasn't even really like war at first. She was just like, get Emmond and we can, maybe this could be even. I mean, she still needs to be queen, but maybe
Yeah.
war doesn't need to start. But now,
Right.
after how that ending ended and they did not kill Emmons, I mean, this is already all spoilers if you're even listening to
Yeah,
this.
by the way, we'll put in the description spoiler fucking alerts, but also it's like a recap. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
come on, you have to know.
yeah.
Um, they killed Jaehaerys, the little boy, Aegon and Helena's son, and it was gruesome. It was bad. They didn't show it happen, but they had the sound effects, and it made my stomach turn. I literally had to watch Love Island after just because I needed something dumb and fun to like lift me out of my spirits because that was really rough to watch. And there's like online controversy that they did it differently than the book because this scene is like in the books called Blood and Cheese because the guy who like Cheese is the like the little rat boy who gets them into the castle and then Blood is apparently, the big guy who kills the kid. And apparently in the books how it's supposed to go is there's three kids, there's two boys and one girl and they make Helena, the mom, pick which boy to kill. Like you have to pick, which is like insane. And apparently she picks the youngest one because she thinks like he's maybe little enough to not understand. And then they say to the youngest one, you hear that boy? Your mother wants you dead. And then they kill the other one. So now the young boy
Oh,
is always going to live his life knowing that his mother wanted him dead. So that's how it was supposed to go in the book. And they didn't do that exactly in the show. However, Game of Thrones fans are masochists. Like, honestly, it was bad enough. You guys want it to be that much worse. Like, we
yeah.
have to stop with the gore at some point. We're talking about little kids. We didn't need it to be that gory. It was hard enough to watch. I'm sorry. Like, I know the book purists are going to be upset about that. And I love books too. I am a book purist, but like
Yes.
sometimes we got to draw the line. That was hard enough to watch.
Yeah, that is horrible. Because and that's but
Horrible.
that's the thing about Game of Thrones. That's why it's so good because you have to like it's like obviously the physical gore, but it's like the mental
The
anguish
mental.
that they
Yeah.
all playing on each other. Like it's literally a
Mhm.
Game of Thrones. Like everyone just
Yeah.
wants to have more power, land, greed, whatever. And it just yeah, it really speaks to like how demented like humanity is because
Mhm.
first of all, how could you come up with that and then be like, Actually, let me turn this up a notch."
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, I think like another thing with House of the Dragons and Game of Thrones that has made it so popular is any good media has to make you feel something. And
yeah.
as disgusting as this was, like I felt something and I'm going to
Yeah.
be thinking about it for a while. Like I
For the
still
rest of
feel
your life.
something when I think about the Red Wedding. Like Rob
Oh,
Stark was my TV crush. Okay. So can I tell you when it killed me? Literally killed me. I saw that
no,
scene.
my Roman Empire,
Oh my
my
God.
I'm trying to think of what the equivalent of Roman Empire would be, and my Iron Throne is the first season, Ned Stark. I
Oh my
can
God.
I
Yeah, that was
just
yours. Mine
say,
was the Red Wedding.
yeah, because I knew about the because everyone talks about the red wedding. So like
Yeah.
I knew that like once I got to that episode,
You were
like that it
prepared.
was
See,
gonna
I
be
had no
bad.
clue.
I didn't know it was gonna be that bad. But I y'all,
Ned Stark was
y'all,
your man.
Ned Stark, I have text messages because one of my best friends, Becky, who's also named Becky, we were both watching that at the same time because we were like, okay,
Mhm.
let's just do this together because like no one's gonna
Those
want to talk.
texts were probably gold. Like
And
the
it's literally
reaction.
me being like, I love Ned Stark. Like he's so like I just love his character. And she's
I
like,
feel like that was
I
all
really
of
love
us.
Rob.
Oh,
Like I
yep.
love Rob.
That was
Just for
me.
them, yeah, I was shocked. I will never, ever, ever, ever forget the feeling that I had last episode of the first season because I'm going into this thinking like, oh, Ned Stark is literally the
The
main
main
character.
character. There's no way they're gonna do this to him. Yeah. That one obviously super shocked me, but I
Yeah.
think like I I don't
Yeah,
know.
the
I
Red
didn't know
Wedding
anything
was
about the Red Wedding. So that one, I feel like I was going in kind of totally blind.
Yeah.
And then I remember, yeah, I was like texting my mom and always like telling her, I was like, yeah, like I really like Rob. I hope he's king. And she was like, okay.
Yeah, like yeah, isn't he so great? From that scene, it's not even Rob that there are a few scenes in Game of Thrones I will
It was
never
his wife
forget.
that killed me when
It
they
was
stabbed her
Catelyn.
belly.
Yeah, that was sick.
Oh,
But Catelyn's scream, I
oh,
specifically can
hmm,
hear her scream. Like best scenes, I don't want to say best as in like they were great scenes, but like most
yes, like
moving
acting, like
scenes.
most
Yes.
moving.
Her scream,
Yes, I still can hear it in my head.
because that was a real scream. That was the
Hmm.
scream of a woman who had lost her husband, just lost everything.
And like a
And
moment in a minute, not even.
yeah, literally, and like at a moment's notice, lost everything and knew she was next and knew she could not protect her only daughters because she only
Yes.
has like well, she has what's his name? The boy that they pushed off the
Oh, Bran.
Bran. Yeah, I always forget his name, ironically. LOL.
He's
Um,
forgettable.
yeah, right. Just for
Literally the king, but
anyways.
forgettable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my Iron Throne.
Oh, that one too.
Yeah, it's
Don't even
just
get me
like
started on Daenerys.
yeah, yeah, like it's just like that scene, the red wedding, and personally, one scene that got me since we're like on this
Yes,
tangent
I
of
want to
Game of
know.
Thrones best scenes ever, and this is one's like a feel good one. When we found out that Daenerys speaks High Valyrian,
Oh my God.
oh,
That was one of the
chill, like
best scenes of
I'm
TV ever.
ever, I'm literally about to get tears thinking of it because it was like,
Like
yeah,
just saying
protect
like,
women, like we
yes, like free the
thought,
slaves, protect the women, and
yes,
burn this bitch.
burn
Like,
this
oh my
shit to the
God,
ground.
chills.
Chills because it goes on for so many like it's literally damn near like the whole season. You think she doesn't know what the fuck she's saying, just for her to turn around and say it back, like I'm
That was
literally, my
such a
heart rate
great
just
TV
went up.
moment. I think
uh
one of my favorite moments of Game of Thrones was when Daenerys finally got like all the Dothraki and she had her dragons, and it was like the Lannisters just like looking up at the dragons for the first time, like ever seeing them. Like first they were like, holy shit, the Dothraki is like literally gonna pummel us. And then like looking up and seeing the dragons, like JV Lannister's face and just being like, holy shit. Because I feel like that was the first time anyone had ever seen her dragons, like out of this
yeah,
huge seasons of like just anticipation. Oh my God, that was like one of the best
yeah,
moments ever.
that's why it's so good because it took so long. Like this whole storyline of Game of Thrones like happens in like their world in what, over like a couple of years,
Yeah, I feel
right?
like House of the Dragons is kind of going by fast. I mean, because I know they did
Yeah,
that time jump. So there has to
yeah,
be like way more that happens past this. And it's like, I feel like the war is just starting now in season 2. So it's like, what
yeah.
else
That's what's
happens?
yeah, like it's so much build up, so much um like
Like
suspense.
anticipation, yeah, and suspense.
Yes.
Like that last scene with Blood and Cheese, like creeping through the castle, like my heart was in my throat. Like, oh my God, the suspense, like of them, like I was like, oh my God, are they gonna get caught? And then when they like saw the handmaid, I was like, are they gonna kill the handmaid? Like, are they gonna find Emmond? Oh my God, I was like, chills, chills. Like
No.
just the way that show makes you feel is with the
Yes.
music, the acting. I know some
10
people
out of
like,
10.
yeah, I thought it was a great first episode. It like kicked off the series with a fucking bang. And then
Yeah.
literally that name title, A Son for a Son, on Father's Day. Like there's, I mean,
Oh my gosh.
chef's
I didn't
kiss.
even oh, like genius. Like I just want like a day. Actually, maybe I don't want a day in their minds, but like
Yeah, that's twisted and
yeah,
sick.
I don't want to like my little lollipop ass. Like I can't deal with that. But it's just like it again, if you don't watch Game of Thrones, if you think Game of Thrones like, oh, black people don't watch that shit. Okay. Okay. Don't don't say we
Don't sleep
never
on Game of Thrones.
don't. Game of Thrones transcends cultures, timelines, experiences, genders, like societal roles. Like it is like
It's so
again,
good. It
10
was
out of
funny
10
because I
TV.
was showing my husband like the recap because he kind of watched season one, but he kind of just like popped in when I was watching. And I feel like it's
Yeah.
one of those shows where you really have to sit down and focus. So
Mhm.
I was like, let's just watch, like HBO came up with this 3-minute recap that you could watch beforehand. So I was like, let's watch this and just so you could see what happens. And the first scene, like it starts off the recap and it's like showing young Rhaenyra like turning around in the crown. And then it's like, you know, King Viserys names Rhaenyra Targaryen the heir to the Iron Throne. And then right
Mhm.
after he goes, okay, so why is there like anything else? They literally said it right there. She is the heir to the Iron Throne. Done. Like it's like, okay, yeah, we think it should just be done, but no, misogyny. And now here we are.
Literally. Literally. And then it's like we as people that watch Game of Thrones, we already know what happens because it's
Yes.
they talk about it in
It's a
Game of Thrones
prequel.
all yeah, it's a prequel, so we know what happens, but it's still just like,
Crazy to see it
oh
play out.
my
They do it so
goodness.
well.
Like I cannot emphasize enough. If you don't gain anything from this podcast of things to watch, honestly, it's watch Game of Thrones because I know you are missing out. I was stubborn. We were both so stubborn and didn't want to
Yeah.
watch it. And now look, we just spoke about it for like 20 minutes.
We're passionate about
Yeah.
HBO Max shows.
No, we love a good HBO Maxi. And there's so many shows on there that I could ramble on for because I think you would really like True Blood.
Yeah, I need to
You
get into True
would.
Blood.
You
I feel like
True
there's
Blood
so
is
many
Greek
shows that I
core.
have to watch.
But specifically True Blood, because it's kind of like Game of Thrones and like the sense that you think it's about one thing, because with Game of Thrones, you're like, I think it's about dragons. I don't want to watch dragons. It's not about
Mhm.
dragons. True Blood, it's like, oh, it's about vampires. I don't want to watch a show about vampires. It's not
Yeah.
about vampires. Like
Oh,
that's
okay.
what's
See, that's what I was thinking. Like I was like, okay, it's sexy vampires.
like it is obviously like that's a theme, but it's like again, the way they build the world and like the
Okay.
acting,
I'm
like
sold. That's all you had to tell me.
10 out of 10.
I
And
need
it's
a
only
good
like,
plot. If
yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
watch a scripted show, it has to be a good plot. It took me for like I'm not the type of person who's gonna watch any like dumb little sitcom show. The Office was
no.
probably the only one of those that I watched. And
Mhm.
like I'm not gonna sit and watch New Girl. I'm sorry. I know people like New Girl, but I'm not gonna do it. Like if
Yeah.
I'm watching a scripted show, it needs to have plot, acting, chemistry,
Yeah,
emotions,
drama.
drama for sure.
Yeah, that's why I like Law and Order because it's like the worlds they build and then they make up like different series and then they have crossover. It's like, oh my gosh, like you feel like I'm also a detective. Same thing
When
with
you just said that, my Siri popped up. I was like, shut up.
mine did too. I
You
did. I was like,
activated them. That's
what did I
scary.
say?
You said series, but it's I don't know why for some when I
Oh,
said it just now, it didn't pop up.
yeah, that's weird.
Scares
But
her.
we should also make a list of like shows like you have like must watch like
Must watch
Gossip Break,
shows.
Guide to TV.
We
Boom,
should
I
do an
got
unscripted and a scripted guide.
yes. Ooh,
So,
I
like,
like
okay, let's really quickly. If you had to, if someone asked right now, I want to start the Housewives, which season or franchise should I start with? What are you telling them?
Atlanta season 5.
Okay,
That's when Kenya and Portia join.
nice. I would have said either Jersey, like season 3,
Mm-hmm.
or Beverly Hills. But everybody's answer
Yeah.
is so different because then I know so many
Yeah.
people who say New York or OC because it's the first one. It's so interesting people's
Yeah.
answers.
That's the thing about what I like about Housewives, speaking of like world building, because that's
Yes, I
honestly like
love
what
that.
it
Hmm.
is like once you it's like a gateway drug. You start one and you're like, oh, I only like Atlanta. I only
Hmm.
like whatever. And then they come out with like a new city and you're like, oh, I'll give these girls a chance. And then you're like, wait, I kind of love them.
Well, I might as well watch another one.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, I think I've watched at least like 3 or 4 seasons from every franchise. And there's how many?
Yeah, we're in pretty deep. Like I've watched, yeah,
Orange
in
County,
like the beginning of Atlanta. I'm doing
Atlanta,
Beverly Hills, New Jersey, Potomac. I didn't watch
Salt
Dallas.
Lake. Oh,
I
I didn't watch Dallas either,
I
even
watched
though I
season
lived
1
there.
of Salt Lake. I should have watched. I just kept up online with the rest, and I honestly probably should go back and watch because all of the
Yeah.
Monica drama and the Jen Shaw was enough to watch season 2 and 3. But
Whoa.
anyways,
This episode, you guys are gonna if you loved last week's episode, you're gonna love this episode because I feel like we were like really funny today.
we were We're really funny guys. So
Like,
it's because we maybe, yeah, when we
funny.
space out the podcast more, we have more to yap
Like,
about.
no, we were really funny this episode though. And like we love you guys and we got so much good feedback from our last episodes.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for listening and for gossiping with us.
Yeah, we just had a good old yappy time and
Nice little yappy hour sesh. It was
and
good for
next
us.
it was. And next week we'll actually do a better recap of House of the Dragon because I think we kind of just were like, we love Game of Thrones. Well, at least that's like what I
We just
did.
turned into total fangirls.
Yeah, like, but
That's
it's we had
okay.
to, we're world builders too. We had to set up.
We had to set up the world for you guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes we like to recap. Sometimes we just want to yap our thoughts.
Yes, and that's okay. And that's why we love what we do. So make sure you're subscribed, following, liking, downloading, favoriting. Send that. You know what you should really do? You should send this
Send
to
it
your
to a
best
friend.
yapper.
Yes,
Yes.
send it to a friend. That's how I always find my best podcasts. And it's just been so nice seeing you guys' comments. Like I've gotten a few people tell us how like when they're listening to the podcast, they like respond back because they feel like they're talking with us. And that's exactly what the point of the podcast is. Like we want it to feel like a gossip session with your best friend. So we're so
Yes.
happy that we're getting the feedback with that and just continuing to make, good podcast episodes and things that you guys want to hear about and things that we want to gossip about. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. And thank you so much for listening.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.